Midweek on the Strip looks different now. Open seats at blackjack, short taxi lines, quieter walkways between the big resorts. A lot of you asked, is Vegas dying? Here's the twist. Some of that emptiness is by design. In August 2025, Las Vegas hosted about 3.17 million visitors. Hotel occupancy averaged 77.5%. Midweek slipped to roughly 72.2%. Average daily rate was near $162, and revenue per available room sat around $126. Those are declines from last year, but not a collapse. They point to a strategy shift. Operators would rather protect price than chase full occupancy on a slow Tuesday. That means fewer discount blasts, tighter comps, and table minimums that rise and fall with demand. One CEO spelled it out on an earnings call. They prioritized midweek rate over occupancy. That's the blueprint behind those empty-feeling floors you see midweek. In this story, we'll show how the numbers, fees, and the event calendar combine to make a city that feels packed on Saturday and quiet on purpose by Tuesday, and why a CEO can live with that. We'll dig into the peak years, walk the floor for field notes, and map the event nodes that now drive the rhythm of the Strip. We'll also show the headwinds, from online gaming to softer international travel, and end with a tempered outlook for 2026. Keep an eye out for two clues: why a $2.3 billion ball of LEDs can change a Tuesday night, and what a group sales calendar can do to your next room rate. To understand the shift, remember the recent peak. In 2024, Las Vegas drew about 41.7 million visitors. Average hotel occupancy was roughly 83.6%. Average daily rate hovered around $193. The market counted about 150,000 rooms open, and direct visitor spending topped $55 billion. It was a year of mega events and a proof point for a new model. Blowout weekends that lift the whole month. Allegiant Stadium, with about 65,000 seats, hosted the Super Bowl in February 2024. The city wrapped a global broadcast around a football game and turned it into a tourism ad. That event, plus big shows and residencies, set a new event spike baseline. The industry liked what it saw. Weekend demand that bursts, then fades. The next question became how to manage the quiet parts without racing to the bottom on price. That's the problem the current strategy tries to solve. What does empty on purpose feel like when you land? Start with fees. Valet at major Strip resorts can hit about $40 per day. Self-parking often runs about $20 Monday through Thursday, and $25 Friday through Sunday for non-hotel guests. Hotel guests pay daily too. These prices became the new normal after late 2024. For some visitors, that's the moment a short trip starts to feel pricier than expected. Next, the service mix. Several properties trimmed old-school concierge desks and pushed more tasks to apps, mobile check-in, digital keys, and chat-based help. Not every resort, but enough to notice. It's a sign of cost control in a softer midweek environment. You still get help in person, but more of the routine stuff lives on your phone now. Then there's the table game reality. On slow days, some pits stay closed. More importantly, minimums float with demand. You might see $10 or $15 tables at quiet hours, then watch them jump as the room fills. That's part of the protect the hold mindset. Keep the average bet healthy. Limit low-yield hours. Make weekend players carry more of the margin. The bigger mood is about prices. Think $9 coffees, $100 buffets, and resort fees that feel like a second bill. Some of this is perception, some is real. But perception drives behavior. A traveler who feels squeezed may pick one big blowout weekend instead of two smaller trips. That choice shows up as fewer bodies on a Tuesday. Finally, that empty feeling is uneven. Walk near a venue on a show night and the air bristles. Walk a half-mile away and the energy drops. That's new for Vegas. The city used to feel evenly busy. Now it pulses. The symbol of this pulse is sphere. The exosphere skin carries roughly 1.2 million LED pucks, each packed with dozens of diodes. Inside, seated capacity is around 17,600, and it can approach 20,000 with floor. The price tag landed near $2.3 billion. On show nights, that glowing planet becomes a magnet. Rideshares queue up. Nearby restaurants flip tables fast. Hotel lobbies buzz. On off nights, foot traffic thins within a few blocks. Sphere concentrates demand. It's an on-off switch you can see from miles away. Headwind 1 is digital. In 2024, online casino and iGaming revenue in the United States jumped sharply. That growth pulls time and discretionary money out of the middle of the market. A quick spin on a phone app will never replace a shared weekend in Vegas, but it can replace a casual midweek trip. That shows up in table density and bar tabs. Headwind 2 is international softness, especially from Canada. Through the first part of 2025, several Canadian routes cut capacity or saw fewer passengers. Some months posted double-digit drops from Canadian carriers. That matters for value-tier hotels, casino floors that lean on casual players, and restaurant rows that depend on volume, not just high spenders. Headwind 3 is weekday demand across U.S. cities. Travel trackers flagged weekday RevPAR pressure, with Las Vegas among the heavier drags on certain reports. Weekends still pop thanks to events, sports, and concerts, but the weekdays lag. If you work on the Strip, you feel that in your tips and your table fill. If you visit, you see it in the pit lists and the minimums. Add a fourth factor, the price narrative. Visitors swap stories about
surprise fees and sticker shock. True or not, the story spreads faster than any ad campaign. The result is a shift in planning. One go-big weekend instead of two little ones. The city still earns on that weekend, but the space between spikes feels wider. That's why quiet Tuesdays are not always a red flag. Sometimes they're the price of keeping rate power on Saturdays. Vegas now runs on event nodes. The Strip spans about 4.2 miles, or 6.8 kilometers. Anchor sites concentrate demand. T-Mobile Arena holds up to 20,000. Allegiant Stadium seats about 65,000. Sphere seats around 17,600. The Formula One circuit loops about 3.85 miles, or 6.20 kilometers past major resorts. When those nodes light up, rooms and restaurants within a mile, about 1.6 kilometers, spike. Outside the ring, you can feel the energy fade. This map logic changes how you plan. If you want a quiet deal, look just outside a hot radius on an off night. If you want the party, book inside the ring and accept the premium. Vegas used to be one big wave. Now it's a set of smaller waves you can time. So why accept emptier Tuesdays? Because yield. If you protect rate midweek and explode on event weekends, the math can still work. Executives have said the quiet part out loud. They'll prioritize midweek rate over occupancy. Meanwhile, group business is the bridge. Big conventions, trade shows, and corporate meetings can fill those softer lanes. Some operators have guided to stronger groups late 2025 and into 2026. Another lever is partnerships. One deal ties Strip rooms to a massive loyalty base, hundreds of millions of members, who can earn and burn points in Las Vegas. That opens a pipeline of higher spend guests. Put those together, events, groups, and partnerships, and you get a plan to hold price, smooth the midweek dips, and push volume back toward the heart of the Strip. It won't feel like 2019, but it can feel stable. The city isn't empty. It's pulsing, then pausing. In August 2025, RevPAR hovered near $126 with occupancy at about 77.5%, and midweek near 72.2%. That's lower than 2024, but it reflects a shift in goals. Operators are steering toward mix and margin, not maxed out occupancy. For guests, that means fewer blanket discounts, tighter comps, and higher minimums when the room gets hot. It also means opportunity. If you avoid event weeks and watch the radius, you can still find value. For workers and locals, the pattern brings whiplash. Big weekends, then lean days. The long-term test is whether groups and partnerships can refill the weekdays without burning price power. That's the balance to watch in 2026. The empty on purpose idea isn't a conspiracy. It's revenue management in plain sight. The Strip spikes for events, then cools to protect rate. If you work here, that balance is hard. If you visit, it's a planning puzzle you can solve. Pick your week. Watch the radius. Decide when to pay for the surge and when to enjoy the quiet.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more place stories, smart maps, real numbers, and the human side of the world's most famous streets.